welcome to this fabulous hour. Good to see you. Glad you could join us. This is Tuesday, and you can see my lovely co-host on this episode, Miss Trina. How are you doing?
I'm good, Wayne.
Alessandro, is that the way to pronounce your name correctly?
Yep, Alessandro.
See,
Yeah,
y'all didn't think I knew it.
the Italian thing. Alessandro, yeah.
Well, when I did my DNA, my background test, I have 10% Italian.
Yeah. See, I don't have any Italian. That's a married name. So my kids got the Italian, but I don't have any.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, and every single one of my siblings, we all married Italian. It's funny. Yeah, my sister was in Europe. She lived in Italy for past 13 years. She's only been back here about two or 3 years now.
Really? How
yeah.
Interesting. You see?
My nieces and nephews, they're bilingual. They speak both languages. It's awesome. They spend a lot of time in Europe. Yeah.
Gotta love it.
Yeah.
That's amore. So, well, welcome everyone in the chat room. I know we have people tuning in quite by the tens and now going higher. Coming in at the tens. But hello, everyone that's in there. Good. Al, how are you doing, my good friend? Marguerite, Barry, Grandpa, Brian. Hello, 420. How you doing, my friend? Haven't seen you before. Gilbert, Shari, Nina, the Mystic. I love that. Can you see the names coming up?
I can't see chat. It like interferes with my stuff. So I was like, nope.
Okay. Well, I'll just be your eyes.
Yay!
Okay, yeah. Welcome all the moderators. Shelly, good to see you. Tammy, good to see you. Cheryl, Freeman King, good to see you. Paul P. Cordia, Jane Stewart, good to see you. Landon, good to see you. Twisted Isby, good to see you always. Pathfinder, David Castle. And Alan, good to see you. JH, how are you doing? Ruby, hello. Remember, oh, Ruby, don't take your love to town. Kenny Rogers in the 5th edition. Imagine that.
Ruby Tuesday came into my mind, too.
Well, you see now, that was a little later with the Stones, but absolutely, yeah. Emperor Rex is in the room, and David Barry, hello, and Cell Chaos. Isn't it always that way? Dance on Waves. Hey, peace. Good to see you. When I always hear Dance on Waves, it always draws me back to the days when I surfed a lot. And, yes, that's literally what I always interpreted. I did a lot of it on LSD, which was pretty cool. But,
oh, wow.
Yeah, it was really a trip. Oh, it was a trip. But anyway, it was like, walking on water to me. You think about the metaphor, you're actually. So anyway, it's just a way.
Water. Yeah. Dancing on water.
I love it. See? Yeah, you just got to groove with it. Sapphire Owl, love that name. Hello, Jill Jarrett. Think Agape live forever. Good to see you. And Sylvia. Wow, just a lot of people here, Miss Trina. Let me just invoke favor on everyone, because this hour is dedicated in how you can begin to bring in a never-ending harvest of favor into your life. And not only this life, but I'll share something that happened with me while doing the dishes, Trina. Yeah. So I invoke favor every day because I know it works. And Trina, I get emails every day, and many of them sometimes are left in the comments. People are seeing favor show up in their lives. And I told you folks this. If you really get this down inside of you, you're going to find favor everywhere. I had a gentleman write $1,200 come out of nowhere. Wow. And he was in a desperate situation. And this money that came out of nowhere, and he said, and he actually said he contributed to the fact that he began to lose the grudges and started seeing favor on people.
Yes. It's so powerful.
It really is. So,
and literally he just acknowledged he's changing his internal thoughts. He's not allowing all the other stuff to enter, which truly is the Satan's It's those
yeah,
thoughts,
literally
negative memories that you just can't let go of. He's like saying, I'm not going to focus on that anymore, and I'm going to see things from a different way, and that way is going to have favor in it, and life is going to feel good to me, and it manifests. It really does.
It does. And we're going to get more into it. So we just invoke favor upon you. And I'm going to add something else to that. I'm invoking joy into your life. Trina, we have an epidemic of the lack of joy in society, in the human collective consciousness, all the way down to the individual.
Yes. Joy's my favorite.
Oh, man. I mean, okay, let me finish the invocation. Then I want to share something with you. So we just invoke favor of that special kind in joy with full restoration, nothing missing, nothing broken found in your life. And we mean that. And I'll tell you something. You're going to learn today. It's really quite interesting because it's a spell. Yeah. You're invoking something to change the condition that you are currently in.
Yeah, it's magic because you're literally you're focusing on a thought, which is joy and favor and blessings and all these beautiful things coming to your life, and you're literally feeling it and setting your body at that frequency resonance. And through your heart, it's a magnet. It sends that signal out to the universe, and the universe brings back a match.
Yes. Powerful stuff. It really is.
Yeah, it's magic.
It is magic. Someone said, what does the shirt say? The shirt says, sometimes I pretend to be normal, but I really lose interest and go back to the way I was.
Yeah, to being me. I love it.
That's all I got to say. So it's seed. It is. And we're going to talk about this. So Trina, I was doing the dishes, and yeah, I do the dishes. My wife and I look at it as that it's the house.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and I have found that doing the dishes is even a good time of meditation. I mean, it really is. It allows me just to really allow my mind to become open with no agenda. I mean, other than washing the dishes. And this hit me the other night. The favor that I invoke, that I've been doing now, in fact, I found out I'm the only one doing this.
I know.
The only one.
Yeah. On
YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, the only one.
Remember, I told you, Wayne, you started doing that, and what happened? A rainbow landed on your house.
Literally.
Totally.
Literally.
So I told you. They just said, I give up. You win. You can do whatever you want. It's over. Yeah. You that was a serious celebration. Start doing a dance.
Yeah, you just got to get into the groove. And
it was because of favor. Favor was what did it.
Yes.
Favor.
Yeah. Favor.
You brought in a frequency nobody else is tapping into.
Bingo.
Yeah.
And I've actually had people write me, and they're doing their own research, and they're saying, this is odd. You're the only one doing this. But anyway, I digress. So when I do dishes, my mind is just open. It's kind of like, well, what's out there? Who wants to talk?
Yep.
And I heard this distinct thought, and this is what it came to. The favor that you have sown faithfully for the last 6 months into thousands of people's lives flows into the next realm. And when you arrive, you will be assigned the color favor.
Yes. Those are the badges that I saw that we get when we go home.
Well, let's talk about that.
I saw like when you get back to your light body, it's filled with colors. It's like a diamond. It's beautiful. It has all this color. And when you come home, they're like, you get integrated with new colors because these are the things that you've mastered. These are the things that you integrated in Earth. So it's like a
wow
celebration of color and light. And
yeah,
there's no words. But yeah, you get new colors. I saw that.
I never even, the thought never came to me that, wow, I mean, favor is a color.
Yeah.
I don't know what color that is, Trina. I don't.
It's a frequency, and
It has to be, yes.
match with colors somehow. But
Yeah.
these are colors you've never seen with your eyes. That's why you can't grab it, because you've never seen it. You don't have a database point to match because you've never seen this color, because it's a color you can't imagine. But it's color. And yeah, and it has a personality, and that's favor. That is such a good personality to have in your color package.
Well, and I'm doing the dishes here, and I start hollering to Lynn. I said, you got to hear what this came to me. Yeah. And, of course, she comes in and she's listening, and she looked at me and she says, so what color is favor? I said, I don't know. I mean, who knows? But
you know what? It's so funny because I keep seeing like a coral color, like orange and yellow and red mixed in together somehow.
That's far out. I'll go for that.
That's what I like to see in my mind's eye. It's like because its basis is joy.
Yes.
Favor brings joy, and they're the same thing. It's like favor and joy. That's where you're like, I want to evoke joy. I'm like, that's my favorite.
And that was what came to me, was to begin to add joy to the favor. And the last part of this thought that came, we're sowing seed. Every day we are, in one form or another. And this seed that goes out into the airways now, this favor, is apparently beginning to vibrate and attract other favor.
That's how it works. It's an electromagnetic universe. The force is electromagnetic in essence, and I think we are the driver. So what we feel and think is what we bring into this matrix. That's why the control systems have created a control matrix. Literally, yeah.
And I just looked up, it's 12:12. We didn't even talk about this. I mean, we literally came on, folks, and just said, hello, how you doing? And came on live. When you talk about this control matrix, and it's a little outside of what the theme is, but it ties in. I am convinced more and more it is a control. It is literally a control. And I don't know who the controllers are, but it's very obvious that either we're an experiment, or, there are opposing forces dynamically at work.
Yeah, it's so funny. Like what they showed me, like, like Lilith. When I saw Lilith in the old Bible, I was like, and it was like she was like first. I was like, whoa. My brain just started expanding, and I had so many questions about this. So like one time I went to Lilith and I like talked to her, and she was not happy now because she said she was deceived and she was tricked, and they stole her essence. And then I saw the Ark of the Covenant with the two cherubs on it, and then she was like, that's me. And I was like, oh my goodness. So like something was stolen, and they took the essence of the angel of light and they mingled it with aliens and animals. And that would be the alien animal construct, the whole wheel of the zodiac. This whole construct to me is all part of the fallen construct. It's all part of the stolen essence. So they created something that they weren't permitted to create. And in essence, they stole something that they're not allowed to steal. So whenever this wants to be returned back to its original owner, it will be.
More truth than that what no one could understand.
Yeah.
Because it is so true.
Yeah. So kind of like, it's like, don't worry, kids. It all goes back where it's supposed to anyways. But if this was a stolen essence and we were brought here with that essence, that means we came to fix, correct, or retrieve that which was stolen. So
yeah, that
it's a game. Let's play.
When you think about time and where we are at this moment. In fact, I was coming in here. I just made some sun tea because it's freaking hot enough to do it outside.
I made it yesterday in 15 minutes. It was
crazy. I mean, but it's delicious. But
yes.
It occurred to me that as I was bringing my iced tea in, that when a sentient energy, us, I think comes to certain, I don't know. I don't know if it's knowledge. I don't know how to describe it. But when you begin to see such things as favor over wealth, joy over riches, then you begin to see there's something far greater than, and that's that color. Whatever favor is, joy must have a color as well.
Yeah, and that to me, I think, is orange.
Interesting.
Yep, orange. Like I see colors with words in them.
Mm-hmm.
I always have. So that was amazing to me. And there's something profound about this whole the prism of light thing, because see, and our prism is so closed, we don't get the full spectrum of true light. So this is a false light reflective construct. It can only use what it's reflecting and harnessing, because it doesn't produce its own. So with that, we have the ability to bring in these new colors, and that's what you're doing. And I had a child tell me about a prophecy about when the humans would start to activate the rainbow. And it was funny because you would see it in dysfunction and you would see it in total alignment with creation. And the dysfunction is all the rainbow stuff we see. That's, the crazy kids and the crazy rainbow behavior. And then the other aspect of it is all these people are going to start integrating with their auras and integrating their light bodies with their flesh bodies and having awareness of the two working as one. Just like you're doing dishes and you're hearing from spirit.
Yeah.
And the way that works is because you're occupying the monkey mind.
Mm-hmm.
Task, because it is task oriented. So by a task, it allows your mind to open up to source. And that's what that is. So yeah, that's I can't really meditate like most people. I meditate by doing dishes. I meditate by vacuuming the floor. I'm in other worlds but when I occupy my mind, my mental mind, monkey mind, that's when I can totally open to spirit. And then for doing that for years and years and years, now I can do it all the time with whatever.
When you were talking about spirit, I've seen a glimpse of what mine looks like. And I guess the best interpretation, it's like an opal.
Yeah.
Seen a fire opal?
Yep.
And
that's a great definition.
Yeah.
Great definition.
And wow, as you're talking, it's and I think the reason why is that
color just comes out of it.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. That's exactly what I see.
Where the light hits the uniqueness.
Sparkle. Yes. That's a great definition.
Yeah. And now that I'm seeing this is tying in. So when you receive, and I do believe you do receive it, you earn it here. For instance, whatever source was telling me that when I pass over, that color will be assigned to me.
Yeah, it gets blended into your
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. It's literally now one with you. It's amazing. There's no words for these things, but because the concepts are so big, it's like you learn a million things at one time.
Wow, this is really coming back to home in many ways, because there is a saying that says that all new spirits, souls, however you want to, consciousness, when they come into existence, they're basically white. There is little distinguishing about them.
Yes.
And I had a master sorcerer teach me years ago, and I never understood what he was saying, but he says the colors blend.
Yes.
I didn't know what he was. Now I'm understanding that.
Yeah, and because color is light, and light is information.
Mm-hmm.
So information you were taking in as a child is what's forming your colors.
Information. Julianne, you'll appreciate that. So,
yeah.
Wow. Now think about this. So now this is beginning to make sense. So when I've encountered elders, they're always a plethora of many different colors.
Yes.
Now I'm beginning to see what this means. This you bring in favor, you bring in joy.
Yes.
You speak it into other people's, calling those things that be not as though they are.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just being of service to humanity. Always remembering that's the ultimate task, is being of service to humanity. You came here to experience a human experience and a human platform and a human construct. And we came here to do the works of creator God. And God is good.
Yeah. I mean,
are the same word. It's power. And you can have power of evil and work as a god, a dark god, a dead god, or you can work with the powers of God that is good, the eternal, true light, source God. It's all levels of power.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah. So the more energies and the more colors that you as a human being can bring into yourself, especially of a positive vibration. Yeah, that's big business down here in a dense.
Well, apparently it's very noticeable in other dimensions.
Yes, and it's noticeable here. So the other dimensions can see you on the map easier than they can see the others because your light is brighter.
Yeah, well, I believe this. I've lived it. I've seen it. And in fact, I did something for everybody. I put together, and if anybody wants this, be more than happy to share it with you. Just put together an affirmation, and this is truly a spell. It's what you should speak over your life, and I'll just read it out to everybody. All these favors will come upon you and overtake you if you give voice to them each day. Now, I'll tell a story at the end of this. This is why I know it's a spell that works. Favor will be with you in the city, and favor will be with you in the country. Favor will heal your body when you speak favor into your body. Favor will set apart your children, your animals, and your ground as favored with abundance of joy. Favor will be on your food, your water, your pantry. Favor will walk with you when you come in and when you go out. Favor will cause your enemies to be at peace with you. Favor will be upon you, upon your barns and storehouses. This is where you keep your valuables to prosper and to be in safety. Favor will be upon you in everything you undertake. Everything you set your hand to, favor shall cause it to prosper. Favor shall be upon all your material property and shall cause it to last longer and not break. Favor shall protect you, your offspring, your possessions from calamity. Favor will lead you to good fortune in all things. Favor will cause you to be the head, not the tail. Favor will cause you to become out on top and not beneath. Favor will cause you to always be above and to come out above. Favor will cause you to have favor with the elements. Favor will cause you to have favor with the spirit realm. Favor will cause you to have be favorable to everyone you meet. They will see you with favor. Favor will seek you out.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
Do you see that? You just created a web of thought for all these different ways favor can come into the life. Hence.
True that.
Matrix. Yes, matrix. That's what I'm saying. All these different thoughts, all these different perspectives are so valuable because they create the fullness of the web.
Well, anybody who wants this, just email me and I'll be more than happy to send it to you. It's one of the things that I believe in, Trina. I believe in seed time and harvest time.
Yes.
It's and the maturity of what I'm learning in life is that wherever we are right now at this moment is because of the seeds that we sowed in some past season.
Absolutely. What you think about, you bring about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I think sometimes it escapes us that it's the fact that when we sow something that we know will be painful into another person's life, we fail to grasp the fact that what we're actually doing is sowing it into our lives.
Yeah. Because I'm telling you, what we feel, that's the magnet. So it doesn't matter what you say. It matters what you feel, because that's the most important part, because that's the magnet that talks to this construct. That's the generator. We think it's our thoughts, but it's really not. It's our feelings. It's our emotions. It's a vibration. And that vibration is going to go grab its match and bring it back.
Literally.
It's how it works. Mm-hmm.
Boy, when you were speaking just then, intent.
Yeah.
Intent is basically the backbone of all magic.
Yes.
I'd say meditation, prayer,
Mm-hmm.
forms of devotion, adoration. Would you not say with that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's
Because,
the
because
intent.
you have a belief associated to it, and it activates a feeling within the body. Yeah, that's you're sending messages. That's what I'm saying. We're creating all the time,
Yeah, we are.
all the time, all the time. And most of the time we're living in the past. We're living in our memories. We're living in our programs. So if the quicker you can catch that in your brain and say, hold the phone, I'm going to choose dance to a happy song, or I'm going to think about something for my future. I'm going to think about what I want to see in my life versus what I've already seen in my life. But this is a battle, because the ego wants to keep you in control. That's what I was shown, is that is the part of our mind that makes us the smartest, and it's also the part of our mind that's the darkest. Wouldn't that be perfect polarity?
Wouldn't it though? Well, it is. It
Yeah.
absolutely is.
Yeah. So the serpent wisdom can save you or slay you.
And the interesting thing, I like how you said this, is that it's really the individual. It's
Yes.
individual choice as to how this is going. My desire for every person I can think of, and even the times when I slip off, when you got some guy that almost broadsides you, and then they start cussing you out, and you're going, no, wait a minute, that joy only goes so far, but
Right.
it's a lesson.
Yeah.
It's like lifting weights. It's like, all right, I'm going to do an extra rep today to increase it.
Yeah.
Having said that, though, um, when you look at the fact of intent, and intent in the present moment is something that most people don't, is how do you live in the present moment?
It's
And I'm
hard.
fine. It is thank you. It's very difficult.
I think it's the most difficult thing we as humans are faced with is connecting to yourself and remembering who you are and staying present. It's the hardest thing, because the world is 100% totally built in to distract you.
Mm-hmm. I had someone who is dying, and speaking with them, and I had to counsel them on this thing. Their deepest fear is, they said, that I'm afraid I won't remember.
Mm.
And, it torments people. It really does. And
But it's impossible to forget, because you have access to the Akash.
well, when we find that to be very normal nomenclature in our vernacular of speech, but for many people, they're trapped into this, reward punishment matrix. Or the other extreme is, their real fear is that, and this is what the person literally said, I'm afraid I won't remember. And I said, well, if you don't remember, what is it going to matter anyway?
This is totally true. It wouldn't matter anyways. But Wayne, I think it's the opposite. I think that once you get out of the physical body, you're no longer bound to the construct of that. So you're going to merge back to your organic foundation, because that's just natural entrainment. So when you return back to your true light body and you connect the soul and spirit, and you marry the two, and you merge everything that you are, then you're going to start to remember what you were before that. And it's going to start to get bigger. So just sit and gather yourself when you die, and you'd be surprised what you're going to find out. But I have a feeling it is not going to be a mind wipe unless you think it is. And if you think it is, it could be. So choose a different program, create a different outcome, because you can create, as a creator, any outcome you can imagine.
And I happen to believe that when we started this conversation, we were talking about the thought that came to me that, and I have a feeling that for many of us, we're going to be quite surprised to see what our merit badges were.
And I think we're going to be like, oh crap, I thought it was going to be like one way and it's not that way. And I thought I was going to get all this divine wisdom, and it's like, no, you're still the same person. You're just going to understand more of what's real, but you're still the same.
You're still the same. And and it's really power, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it is. So you pass over to the other side and you figured out favor above everything, favor above fear, favor above harm.
Well, what it was shown to me was like you were bringing a frequency into a density that didn't have it. So you're like anchoring brand new energy, hence creator. And you're bringing in favor to the construct. Oh, bravo. Bravo.
I love this conversation, and I hope it is one that goes viral, because favor is probably the least word I hear when we talk about the condition of man.
Yes.
Yeah.
And joy.
And joy. Exactly. And those would almost be the twin sisters.
Yes, absolutely. Because favor brings joy. You can't have one without the other. They're holding hands frequency wise. And love is in there too. And gratitude is in there too. Those are all in the same family, and they're potent and powerful, beautiful tools to create with.
May I say something that today I stumbled upon this, and it's becoming, because I'm reading more and I'm finding out there's much more thought to this. So Lilith was the one who taught all of us when I was doing the Liber Lilith series that the body has a spirit.
Yeah.
It has its own identity. It has its own, how shall I say it? Its own sense of self-worth. And so I'm telling my body, and I've been doing this for a while, but now I'm getting more specific. I'm telling my body spirit, thank you. Thank you for this marriage, this union that I could have never comprehended. Trina, think about it. And our weekly meetings when we come here is amplifying this. The fact that this is a sacred relationship between the spirit essence of my consciousness and this marvelous temple.
Yeah, matter.
Yes, that's called a body.
Yes.
It welcomed me. It fell in love with me.
Yes.
And I'm learning now how much I have missed loving my own spirit of my body.
Don't you feel it, that the warmth in every cell of your body just wake up like it just fell in love?
Yeah.
That's magic. When you can feel that in your body and talk to every one of your cells. And for me, the easiest, how I first was able to fall in love with myself was because when the Lord told me that every single cell in my body was what the people on the earth and an animal and trees, and that literally the whole thing is inside of our body. And I was like, then it was easy for me to fall in love, because I could fall in love with the ocean, and I could fall in love with the forest, and I could fall in love with the animals. And, so yeah. And then to love, your family and people you love, it was so easy to fall in love with that. And to know that that was inside of me, that was a huge gate opener for me for self-love.
Yeah. Oh, this is, I think, one of those hidden powerful gems that we've lost, is the fact, when you think about when a person goes to their doctor and they're feeling bad, what you're looking for from your doctor is not only a diagnosis, but the reassurance of the doctor's intent, his words, her words. You rely heavily on, my doctor said to take this and that this would make me feel better. And that's really kind of the placebo effect.
Yeah.
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 Now,
I almost died because what I was sick with, doctors, they didn't have anything for it. They didn't have any awareness of it, which was a systemic candida infection. And like, I've been brought into experiences in my life that have made me go these paths. And I'm sure it's because I can show you all that these things truly are possible. Because I was in renal failure and they kind of sent me home to die or go, die in the hospital or die at home, but you're going to pretty much die. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm 22 years old. This is fun. So, yeah.
What a blast.
Yeah. So, but I went to a different doctor who was a homeopath and he figured out what was wrong with me.
Mm.
So I had like an 80% recovery in 10 days after I was in renal failure. You die when you're in renal failure. That's over,
That's standing in line to get your ticket punched.
Yeah. And every single one of my lymphatic nodes were at least the size of golf balls.
Wow.
In my entire body. And I was gray, totally gray. Eyes sunk in my head. Yeah. So I was literally dying. And so, I had to put myself back together from that, but I couldn't go to modern medicine. I had to go outside. I had to find out what was wrong inside of me. And what it was from over usage of antibiotics. So, it was a whole thing. So I had to go through that. And it was like, if I wouldn't have gone outside and gone to look at different options, I would be dead. So with that, yay, Dr. Shelton. And then, and then I got hepatitis B, and that's an incurable disease. And I cured it with my mind. Or the herbs or both, or I don't know, but whatever. I did it by my next blood draw, which was in 3 days. So, and the doctors still freak out.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're like, how can this be right? I'm like, it's right. They're like, well, we want to take another one. I'm like, yo, you know how many times I've heard this, but it's right. It's negative. I know you never seen this before, but yes, I actually produce the antibodies in my blood to cure an incurable disease.
And there are stories. When I was back in my particular flavor of religion, I'm an avid reader, always have been. Well, John G. Lake was a guy that lived in the early teens to 1920s. Mm-hmm. And he was a doctor. Mm-hmm. And he was one who believed in the power of words.
Yes.
You get it here, you speak it. So they were on a hospital ship. There was a bubonic plague that was an outbreak in Kenya. And he was there on a French medical ship. And they was telling him they had brought the cadavers in so they could begin to test the froth and see this. Anyway, what the intensity of it was. Anyway, the point is, they told him you needed to gown up and tape up and what have you. He said, no. He said, I am immune to this. They said, well, no one's immune to the plague. And and this has been documented, that he said, bring me that bloody froth off of that cadaver. And they did. And he said, now let's look under the microscope to make sure that it is alive. And it was. Now he said, put that on my hand. They put that froth on them, freaking out on his hand. And he said, let it stay there a minute. Now he says, take it off and let's look at it again. Mm-hmm. Every one of the germs in the froth was dead.
Dead. Absolutely. Dead. Because his frequency, we have every remedy to everything on this planet because everything on this planet is within us.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they would show me. They're like, you are connected to everything in this construct, everything from concrete to birds to everything, because every single thing has water, which is the Holy Spirit, and that moves within you. And we are a lot water.
Oh, well, we basically are. I mean, we are.
We're basically water balloons.
Yeah. And then whether the spirit is the rock, or the essence of life. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah,
it is. It's both.
Yeah.
The Father is the creation part of it, and the mother is the manifestation part of it. So the mom's the water that can produce the inspiration from the father. They are one and the same. They cannot work without each other. So they're one in essence, but they have two separate functions.
Again, I think the key is when we tie these points together here is that, and this is something that's been taught in a lot of the religions, a lot of psychology. But anyway, I know it works, and it's that one thing about what faith is. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. And then again, calling those things that be not as though they are.
Yes.
That's the creative power each one of us possess, Trina. And you know this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Naturally. Every single
Naturally.
one. Every single one. Yep.
So hear me out on this. So I believe that there are controllers out there, but here becomes the problem. When you become self-aware of the fact that your words are actually their power, that they can use in politics, they can sway in public opinion, that can even sway an individual, people don't understand they have something that they can counter that with, and that is speaking their own truth.
Yeah. And more than that, I keep hearing like from spirit right now, they're like saying, tell them to reverse the curse.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Reverse the curse. I just keep hearing it. And we have.
By the way, that affirmation statement is literally taken from, of all places, the 28th chapter of Deuteronomy. I learned decades ago in Bible school that the book of Deuteronomy in the 28th chapter is really weird because you get what they called the blessing of Abraham in the first 14 verses. Then you get the curse if you screw up, and literally if you screw up one little bit, then this whole curse, which is far more detailed. There's I think, and I got to get this right, I think there's over 54 verses on the curses and only 12 on the blessing.
Wow, 3 and 9.
Yes.
Interesting.
Think about that.
Interesting. Completion.
Isn't it? So by speaking the favor every day, when you say, favor is going to greet me as I go out, favor is going to greet me when I'm come in, it becomes, it's okay. You said it best, and we'll repeat it. It's that reprogramming.
Yes. And literally you're reversing the curse.
You are. Literally.
Yeah.
Literally.
You are. Literally. Yeah. That's beautiful. And literally that's wow. Yeah. Because I'm like, why? Okay. Now it makes sense. You are literally reversing the curse because their magic has us controlled. And your magic is producing favor and blessings to come upon all. That's reversing the curse.
That's what we're doing.
You got it. Bingo.
I contend that every person that sees our image and hears our voice, I mean, that's the invocation I do before I go on air for every person. And this is what I'm convinced of, that if you're broke, I'm not saying you can become rich, but you can become satisfied. And when your needs are met, that allows you to make a choice in discipline. What are you going to do? Are you just going to go and play more video games? You're going to watch TV, or are you going to really become disciplined and take advantage of what the favor is offering you? And that's to grow by knowledge.
Yeah. You know, it's so weird, Wayne. I want to show you this real quick. I wrote this back in like 2016. And I don't know if you can see it.
I can. That's beautiful.
It says, we shall rise to a new creation like the phoenix of joy and love. And you're bringing in the favor. See, there's the Trinity. There's one piece I was missing. See,
the favor.
we all got to work it together. So we shall rise to a new creation of joy and love for all of creation to reign of Christ, meaning we would become the Christ, not worship it, become it. And then it say, may the true light of love be your guide. And then it says, in the beginning of the age, the children of earth sounded for joy. The heavens rejoiced in their glory, for the Christ is alive in them, and love is their guide. Many woke to their purpose, and they carried the flame. They began to remember that this is all just an illusion. This is not my Father's house. But we struggled against the powers of darkness. The struggle was a gift. It allowed for the remembering of many. As the children woke, they became the lion, and they came into courage. And then they became one with heart, and they became one heart. These became the remnant. They became the new guardians of earth, and they will reign and rule with love. And when they remembered and they put themselves back together, they rose. They were one like the phoenix, and they merged the dove and the lion. Transfigured into eternal light, they rose above the illusion.
I love that. So when you were reading that, this is what I got. You know, I've questioned this. Why would God want worshipers? And I contend a God would not. What he or she or the presence of the thought of a God is that a God would want you to be equal.
And I've always understood it that we exist because we are part of that.
Mm-hmm.
And being everything, you can't understand anything of yourself because you're everything. So the only way that creation itself could experience itself was to produce us, its children.
It's very interesting that you write that, because I'm reading this book. It's just fascinating. It says, so if the creative force that permeates everything
Mm-hmm.
is in us,
Mm-hmm.
we are in essence in it.
Yes.
So when we begin to worship something other than ourselves,
Yes.
in essence, we're worshiping ourselves no matter what.
But you're also rejecting the cornerstone. You're also refusing your inheritance because you're not acknowledging that you come from something bigger.
Yeah, much more of a grand design.
It's before light, before visible.
That's odd, you know, because when you discuss the fact that it goes against most people's paradigm that light is artificial in its construct. There's something other than what we perceive to be light.
Well, it's so funny. This is reflective light. Think about it, Wayne. When you saw your spirit body, you saw light out of you.
Beautiful.
There's no light coming in.
No.
It's all coming out. It's a whole different way the light works. The light emanates from within outward. It's not reflecting down on you. That's why this is an illusion, an inversion, house of mirrors. But we came here to learn good and evil and to choose. What kind of creator are you going to become?
I like this because, you know, as you, again, the thoughts just come flowing in. It really does come down to the individual's choice.
Yes, intention.
Yeah. And it comes all the way back full circle, roundabout again.
Yep. What you think about, you bring about. I mean,
I've got 1,000 thoughts running through my head, and now it's really odd because I think the ultimate trap of the soul is merely to feed off of this energy. I don't know. Lilith says that we have the spark of the divine within us. It's a portion. It's a fractal.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
we do. And you know, that was one of the ways. Anybody who wants to save children in the astrals that see the children that are stuck, show them your light. And then have them find their own and tell them to make it bigger and make it bigger and make it bigger until it's as big as yours. And then tell them you can make it even bigger than mine. And once they get there, they are fine. They'll find their way. That
is so absent in our society. And our education system, and our the whole structure.
Yeah.
I think that's why teenage suicide is this rampantly. And when I'm beginning to read stories of how does a 7-year-old have the comprehension to commit suicide?
Because I think the energies are getting stronger, Wayne, and the drugs. Most of these children are on drugs.
At that young age, I was still honing and tuning my creative skills by my imaginary friends.
Uh-huh.
I was never, and I came from a pretty screwed up childhood, but you know what? It never occurred to me to ever in my life. It just never did.
Yeah.
I don't. Well, this is why we're going to change this, Trina. The best way we can do is begin to, the people, I always like the ones who put the thumbs down. That's all right. That's cool.
Yeah.
It just,
okay.
Peter, I have to give you credit, and I'll remember this, at least the psychics are coming in here. We had 2 that gave us a thumbs down before the show ever started. So, and we love psychics. They're welcome here. We hope that favor just surrounds you. And if you're against favor, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love you anyway. Come on in.
They can gladly reverse it back to us. We'll take it.
We'll take that. And, I always tell them this,
Relax, calm down now. Don't stress. Take it easy.
Okay. And it's going to be okay. It's all right. So, we love you here. And, you're welcome. Come on. You want a hug. That's what you want.
A lot of them, a group hug.
And they want a big group hug,
Group hug.
and we'll bring it here. Here we do that. The only thing you're going to get here is positive vibes.
Absolutely, because they're stronger and they win. Hello.
I was going to say, well, Captain Obvious. Oh, mercy sakes alive, folks. I mean, well, at least I hope we've shown something here. I mean, listen, folks, I'm a big person again of speaking affirmations. Trina, I have a sense that you are too. See, laughter is good, you folks.
Oh God, it's wonderful. It's the best medicine ever. Yeah, you got to talk to yourself, and even more than like even speaking the words, it's like you got to think yourself, outthink your own self, because we're fighting with our own ego, and it just wants to kick your butt 90% of the time. So, you can't let it. You got to constantly be battling your mind. Stay present. What do I want to see show up in my life? We got to stop living in the past, because our subconscious mind is the tape recorder. So it's not the creation part of our brain, but it's working 95% of this construct.
Wow.
So that's the matrix, is the subconscious strata. And that's why we can get miracles. That's why your dark shadow self is in there. All these things are present in that part of your mind. So when we start focusing on the present moment, catching yourself when you're getting in the ego and going into the past and going into all that self-defeat poison that the matrix is just gave us a 95% ratio of dealing with the poison. But do you see? It don't matter. 5%, that's all we need to flip this thing upside down like a pancake.
I love it. I love it. And so profound.
Mm-hmm.
Alan Watts, who's my mentor of modern philosophy, he said 80% of our brain capacity we spend on the past.
Yes. And
that's the trap, Trina. That's the trap.
It is the trap, and it's also the blessing, because without that past recording, you wouldn't know how to walk, you wouldn't know how to feed yourself, tie your shoes. It's the blessing and the curse. It's both in one. But that's what I'm saying. You need to learn how to operate the operating system. So you got to
take the experience.
Yeah, you got to control your thoughts. And the recorder is just information so you can navigate the matrix. You know not to touch a stove, it'll burn your hand. So just start looking at it as information and start to consciously take control of your thoughts and focus on good things and start being magical because you're manifesting anyways. So at least make it work in your favor,
See? And we didn't even rehearse this, folks, because when you said start making it magical, in the weeks to come, I'm going to be teaching how people can draw their magic circle. And the fact that it's really becomes multidimensional.
Yes.
Yeah, it really does. And
we are multidimensional.
We are.
We've got 5 energy bodies going through 5 different layers of dimensions. All
you know what Lilith showed me?
What?
He showed me when you, let's say this is you, when you move through space, you are moving through multi-dimensional space.
Yes.
We don't comprehend, but we actually are existing, and we can expand our consciousness to accept it in multi-dimensions at the same time. We are occupying space that no one else can occupy.
Yes.
Anyway.
That's why I told you the first thing I do when I die, Wayne, is I'm going to go find self.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go see every single one of my fractals. I want to know about every single one of them. Before I go anywhere or do anything, I need to collect my wisdom of myself. I want to know about myself. And I think that's why the Lord always said, Jesus says, know thyself. It's on the Temple of Delphi. Know thyself.
Know thyself.
They're telling us, know thyself. So I think that's another big part of this too, is remembering that you are multidimensional.
Yeah.
Remembering that this is just a part of your fullness. You are a big piece of light. And that light is conscious and it's intelligent and it has memory. And it is your personal frequency.
In fact, that's what I saw in my vision, when I went over. I told you about the console.
Love it. Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
yes. And I saw it with a crystal.
Yeah. Yeah. It's there.
Yeah. See what I mean? We see it different ways, but it was the same essence.
Same thing.
Same message. Yeah. But
and that's how it is in life.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why everybody gets so caught up on the details. I'm like, we got to stop. Devil's in the details because it divides you.
We could be standing on a corner and watch a automobile accident, and it's proven. Cops know this. Yep. You're going to get 3 different witnesses, 3 different stories, but they're going to be predicated on the same event,
which is the truth.
Yes.
There
yes,
you go.
Yes. There was a car wreck. Now, how I interpreted it from there becomes my truth.
Right. Right. But it's all has its foundation in truth. But the devil's in the details, because the details are where we start arguing over what we have seen or believed or perceived. So that's what I'm saying. We need to understand our truth is always in a higher position than our arguments over details.
Bingo.
Find common ground and we win.
Wow, this has been far out, because now we get back to this thing, where almost an hour ago, because we're all up there, is the fact that favor, as the voice told me, the thought voice said, it carries over into the next realm, that I will be given the color of favor. And now we're talking about the fractals.
Bodies. Yeah. All of the fractals, all of your light bodies. It's so big. So big.
Folks, I hope.
Big, beautiful, brilliant, sparkly, multi-dimensional essences from creation itself, guys. I'm pretty sure each one of us is a universe.
I think so.
So each single one of us would be representative of a specific frequency-based universe. And through that universal construct, you can fractal out and incarnate through all the other universes, which is our brothers and sisters.
Yeah. Listen, if y'all want a far out time, come in my mind, and then I'll go in your mind, and blow our mind.
And I think we got called here to save Gaia.
Yeah.
Save Mother Earth. Yeah.
Yeah.
To save the heart of the solar system, to restore the heart of the solar system. Because if the heart of the solar system dies, all of it dies.
Well, I'll say this, and maybe those who will know, Rufus, you were right. You know, most people are going to go, well, who's Rufus? I'll tell you, Bill and Ted's Fabulous Journey. I mean,
Yep.
you know, the
Yep.
thing about Bill and Ted, that whole movie was what? It was bringing forth favor, joy, love,
Yep.
in humanity. And boy, I'll tell you what, Trina, the world could use favor, joy. They don't know what love is anymore. So that's why I like favor above everyone else, because favor is like, well, what do you mean by favor?
Right.
Yeah.
And you know what? Bottom line is, it's a beautiful.
Wow, we've done this. But I just saw your image, and I swear I am living a loop right now. That is weird.
I love when that happens.
Oh, that
I'm
was
traveling
just
real time.
freaking weird, folks. Wow. I mean, okay, that one was weird, Trina. That one was
Wow. That's awesome.
it was weird. Seriously, it was so distinct. Like, you know, I saw myself living this moment twice.
Wow.
Yeah, it was weird.
Awesome. Multi-dimensional self.
Yeah, yeah.
Connecting to the other observers that are part of you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
All right. Let me know if you can come on next week. Let us know what day.
I will. I'll let you know as soon as I find out. I think
Okay.
I'll let you know.
Okay, let us know.
I will.
Trina's, all her contact information is down. And what do you want to say before we go, Trina?
Just let's try to find a way to think the best we can think and start to work on the tape recorder subconscious mind and start to, like Wayne says, bring favor and bring joy, and just by emanating these frequencies, fake it till you make it. Watch funny movies, listen to good music. Anytime you're feeling down or feeling a low vibration, do everything in your power to fix it, to bring it up, because not only are you healing yourself and bringing beautiful new experiences into your life through these frequencies, you're actually healing the whole world, because you're sending that out to the web. Yeah.
We can make a change here, folks.
Yeah, we already are, Wayne. We see the resonance. I know that's from us.
I do believe that as well.
I know it.
We're changing the frequency, isn't it, Brian, who says, be the frequency you want to be? Is that, I think, his moniker?
Yeah, be the frequency you wish to receive.
Yeah.
Send it out, you're going to receive it back.
Yeah, that's so cool. All right, Miss Trina, this has been far out.
I love you guys in chat, my family, my team.
It's
Build a
cool.
beautiful web of favor and joy.
We're changing things.
Now needs to be traded in for a new one. It's not very good.
Well, we'll just invoke favor and joy upon everyone. Thank you for listening. Love yourselves. Love the fact that you think about this, folks. Start speaking to your spirit body. There's truth in this. It really is.
There is.
All right, folks. Trina, stay with me, and then we will be back real soon. All right. Bye-bye, folks.